While I can never really remember learning how to swim, my mum taught me how to swim in our backyard swimming pool. I joined my first swim club when I was 9 years old, and I joined it purely as a way to meet people, make some friends, and to have some fun. I went to my first competition when I was about 9 years old. So while I started competing quite young, I don't think that I really got serious about swimming until I was probably about 13 or 14. And it was then that I decided that I really wanted to make a good go out of this, and I was starting to get quite good by that stage, and I ended up making my first Olympic team just a couple of years later when I was 16. Preparing for a competition isn't just about the physical preparation. Of course, that is a really big part of it, and in the lead into a competition, I do 9 swim sessions, 3 gym sessions, 2 spin bike sessions, and a Pilates session a week. So it adds up to about 30 to 35 hours of physical training a week. But then there's the mental side, and that is preparing yourself for what's ahead. It's keeping focused, it's keeping motivated, and there are lots of different ways that I do this. Some of it is actually switching off and relaxing when I am not in the swimming pool and not at training. It's about resetting my mind and allowing it some downtime, allowing my mind to have a little bit of rest as well as my body. While I don't have any superstitions when it comes to competition, I definitely have a routine that I like to stick to. So on the day of a competition, before my race, I arrive at the swimming pool about 2 hours before I'm due to start racing, and I go through a bit of a dry land routine. So that includes some core exercises, some stretching, some activation exercises. Then about an hour and 10 minutes out from the start of my race, I'll jump into the warm-up pool and do a little bit of activation in there. My warm-ups generally are about sort of 1 to 1.2 kilometers. Then I jump out of the pool, put on my swimsuit, and try and get in a good mind frame to start racing. And I do this by listening to music, practicing some breathing, and a little bit of visualization as well. I definitely prefer training with other people. Even though swimming is an individual sport, having a squad is so important. I learned this kind of the hard way last year when Australia went into lockdown and I didn't have access to my squad. They are such a big part of motivating me and making sure that I turn up to training and give it my best. So I'm definitely someone who prefers training with people. If I ever play other sports, I always try and make sure that I include others because it's so much more fun, it's so much more enjoyable. But I also find that I challenge myself more and I push myself more because I'm looking at what other people are doing, and my competitive nature gets the best of me sometimes. So I'm always challenged by doing other sports with other people. I think sport is such a great way to meet people and to expand your social circle. It's a wonderful way to bring people together who have a common interest in something, and it's definitely a way that I have used to make friends in the past, and it's something that I will look to do after I finish swimming. I'll join a local sport group or club and meet some different people, get out of your usual social circles. So it's a wonderful way to meet people, and I think that's one of the best things about sport. It's been a pretty interesting 12 months or so since the global pandemic happened, and while I've been very lucky in Australia in that COVID has not really affected us too badly, I have had to alter my training quite a little bit. We went into a 2-month complete lockdown, and so I lost all access to all training facilities and squad mates and coaches, etc. for 2 months in March of 2020, which was a big adjustment. And even now we're having to constantly make little shifts as we have smaller snap lockdowns. So it's definitely been a little bit of a challenge, but I would say probably for us more of a mental challenge than a physical challenge. Fortunately, I've been able to access most of my training facilities as per usual for close to a year now, which has been really good. Probably the thing that I love most about sport is the people who you meet doing it. And so that is why I think an app like Clapp is just so great. It's bringing people together, it's building a community, and ultimately that is what sport is all about. It's about sharing and experiencing something together. And I really think that it bonds you, that it makes you better people, that it ingrains you in communities. And so I just think it's such a wonderful initiative, and I would encourage everyone to get on board.